Hi folks, Nathan here. In this video, we're going to look at the accessibility settings that are available within Arkenforge. So to get to our accessibility settings, we go to Settings, and right up the top here we have Accessibility. So in here we have 4 different groups of accessibility. The first is Readability, and this affects how readable the toolkit is essentially. So the first is UI size. This goes from 75 to 150%. So if we set it to 75, you can see that it gets quite a bit smaller. We have 100, 125, and 150. So with this, those that have a bit of trouble seeing can bump up the UI size to 150% and will hopefully have a bit of a better experience using the toolkit. The next is Use Dyslexia Friendly Font. So if we enable this, you'll see that all of the text in the toolkit swaps to this other font here. So this uses the font Open Dyslexic, which some of you who will need this option may be familiar with. And this is just a nice one to make things a bit more readable for you. The third one here is Side Menus Collapsible. So if you want to reduce the side menus down, you can do that. And this is handy for those who might be getting a bit of information overload with all of the text and just want to have their icons available. And if you need it, then you can hover over the icons to get the text. Our next one is Motor Function. So with this one, we have 3 options here. The first is the middle click function. So let's say we put down a token here, drag that down. Right now our middle click function is set to open map content links. So if we hover our token here and middle click, you'll see that our note opens up. But if we change this to the treat as a left mouse hold, we can middle click and it's going to pretend that we have the left mouse held down. And you can see that that's quite handy there. Seems we have a movement blocker there, which is fun. But yeah, this is very helpful for anyone who has those motor function issues where holding down the mouse is painful for them. You can just use this to click and drag this way. The next one is double click timing. So right now this is set to 1/3 of a second by default, which means if I double click and it lasts less than 1/3 of a second between clicks, it's going to open up my note. If I set this to 1 second, for example, I can do double clicks a long distance in between and it's going to register. So if you have an issue with clicking the mouse rapidly, then this is one that you can adjust to just get that double click happening a lot easier. The last one here is the click and drag threshold for pixels. So what this is if I click and drag something, say moving this around, or even just click and dragging a note from the Arken bar here, this will change how far I need to drag it before it's considered a drag. So if I was a user who had, say, hands that tend to shake a bit, and if I'm grabbing something I don't want it to be moving, I just want to be clicking on it, then by increasing the click and drag threshold to, let's say, 50 as a big example, then this isn't going to move until I move quite a bit more, or I can click and drag all the way over to here before it's treated as a drag. So this is very helpful for things like the content library, where if we open this up, I can hold down mouse and it's not until I get way over here that the click and drag happens. Whereas if I set this to, say, 5, it's going to drag significantly earlier. Next one is the software colors. So there's a whole bunch of different parts of the software that you can recolor. As an example, we're going to just recolor the T1 side menu. And we'll do the T2 one as well. So if having everything just all black is a bit of a problem, then you can recolor aspects of the toolkit to make it a bit easier for you to understand. And also you can use this for personalizing the toolkit as well to sort of fit your vibe a bit better. I won't go through every option here, I'll let you play around and see what they all are. The last one is software sound effects. So we have a whole bunch of different UI sounds in the toolkit, only a couple of them are active by default. So For example, click right now doesn't do anything. If I say click on something, it's not going to trigger. But if I enable click, then you can hear that click happening as I click on things here. For delete, for example, if I have something selected and I delete it, there's no sound. But if I enable the delete sound effect, we get the delete happening. So you can play around with all of these as you like to set what does and doesn't make sounds in the toolkit. And you'll note we have this option here at the top called Spatialize UI Audio. What this does is it will pan the audio in your headphones depending on where it is in the screen. So if you have headphones in, I'll just duplicate this and we'll do a left and right one. Just set you to not block movement. There we go. So we have one on the left, one on the right. Let's put our delete sound effect on. Yeah. Alright, so now if you're listening in your headphones, this one will play in the left predominantly, and this one will play in the right predominantly. So there you have it. That is all of our accessibility settings in the toolkit. So I hope that this makes the toolkit a little bit easier for you to use. And yeah, that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching. Bye.